Sonia Choquette, you are so welcome to Livsenergi podden here at Livsenergi Book Club. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so delighted to be here.
So we are actually on the same time zone, which is quite unusual for me to have interviews like this on the same time zone. Where are you in the world?
Well, I spend my time 50-50 between London and Paris.
Oh, so you left
So I'm jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
This week I'm in Paris.
That's a lovely situation.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I have family in London and grandchildren in London, so that's my joy place, and this is my spirit place. So they both really work well for me.
And you also actually wrote a book about waking up in Paris, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a few years old, isn't it?
It's now, I moved here 10 years ago. And so the book is about 8 years old now. So this has now become very comfortably my new life.
So, Sonia, I must say it's I feel honored to have you here. You are one of the most prolific authors in our field. You are a New York Times bestseller with several books. In total, you have written 27 books translated into 37 languages, which is quite amazing, I think. And and more than that, you have a podcast, you have a fantastic learning program online with several courses, and so you are kind of everywhere.
Well, I actually think that I'm very singular in my mission, which is to communicate to people ultimately that your intuition is not a skill or a thing you have. It is your power source. It is the divine frequency pulsating through you, guiding you, empowering you to be a true co-creator at the highest frequency. But I understand that I'm living in a world of various layers and levels of consciousness. So I'm teaching in all the different forms. Some people are very audible. So I teach through YouTube. I teach through my podcast because they listen and learn. Some people like to have hands-on. So I write books and I do journals. And some people like to work in increments. So I've created courses, but they're all moving back to the same core message. Your spirit is your power, and it is not optional. If you want to live a truly meaningful co-creation life that builds an empire for you of love and relationship and abundance and prosperity. So I'm all over the place in that I recognize that people learn in all kinds of different ways. And my mission as an authority and a teacher is to create as many avenues to empower people as I can.
And I think you do it very well.
Thank
it's
you.
To see.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah,
I'm in love.
Yeah, reading your book, I can really tell that, because you have done this. I mean, you were born to do this, and you have done this ever since you were a young girl.
Yes, and it's interesting because I think in a way I've been forged in fire. The world has changed a lot, and my initiation was holding true to my core frequency and my messaging and my purpose in life, despite a whole lot of years where I was given pushback and mocked and dismissed and minimized and all the conspiracies of the world to disempower us. I faced down. So they made me a better teacher. And my tools speak to the things you might encounter as you step back into your inner authority and take charge of your life, which is ultimately what occurs when you reposition your inner guidance system as your first sense, your primary guiding sense, and you train your other senses to support it rather than fight it. So my feeling is that I'm pretty fearless. It's like, bring it on. I have already faced it. Nothing's going to stop me in my mission to help other people find that fearless inner authority as well.
I was surprised actually to read in your book that it was not until COVID-19 where you could actually feel a big shift
Yeah.
in perception and how people see you and meet you.
Well, the thing is that, the first commandment is not to have false gods. And I believe the global false god that we have is that external authorities, even science, although I refer to not the actual pursuit of scientific exploration, but the science we were taught as children, or the pseudoscience that's been forced upon us to say that if there's not some other authority legitimizing what you feel, then you are a weirdo and a woo-woo and dismissible and laughable. But once COVID hit, science had no answers. They were scrambling for something that had no precedent. And so people had to they had to face the unknown. And how am I going to navigate that unknown with no authorities to guide me, or so many conflicting authorities? And it provoked, by circumstance, a reactivation in the global community, our inner senses that had been repressed and rejected and disrespected. It caused these inner senses to come back online for survival. We were facing an unknown certainty, so our logic failed us. Our outer senses had nothing to compare it to. So I think it was the beginning of a genuine shift in the collective. And I'm no longer facing any of the dismissive pushback that I faced for 40 years. I don't face it anymore. Nobody's saying
You had
that's
to build
woo-woo.
resilience for 40 years.
Yeah, I faced a lot. I have been forged in fire, but no, I am not in fact, this is exciting to just say that awakening and really reclaiming the power of your inner guidance system is the number one most sought after skill in the world right now, because it's the one thing that AI cannot replicate.
That is very, very true and very, very, contemporary.
So I just have to say, great, everybody, come on board. Our time has come.
Okay, that's a very nice introduction. Thank you, Sonia. So we are here today to talk about you, your life, and your latest book, Read Life Accurately. Okay, so in Swedish it's called Läs, livet, rätt. It's read life correctly. Right. So I want to tell you why I have picked this book for our book club and to turn it into Swedish. And so reading life, the term that we talk about, it's reading a room, reading life. It's been something that I want to conquer ever since I was young. Before I had this spiritually interest that I have today. So I was always interested in reading life, but I never kind of pursued that as an interest to dig into and really learn, a- as you never had to because you were born with it. So reading life, I mean, people around me, my mother has talked about it, and people around me have talked about how you can see things in life and read your life. So just the actual title of your book kind of just, drew me towards it and figured I need to see what this is about. And it's about exactly that thing that I never pursued. So thank you for writing this book. And it's definitely a book for me. And I am sure there are so many people out there who wants to learn how more skills to how, or develop more skills on how to actually be sure that they are reading their life correctly.
I'm so excited to hear that it speaks to you. And I do think that it's a natural inclination to know intuitively that there's more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
There is more than what is being physically presented. And even what is being presented many times is incongruent and isn't reflective of what one's real intentions are, what's really going on with agendas, as well as the fact that what we see in the moment could change at any moment.
Mhm.
So reading life accurately is really the skill of perceiving the energetic world and how it is influencing everything, because if you read the energetic world correctly, you are getting the true picture of what's going on, and that empowers you to make better decisions.
So what are can we make a list of the ingredients to how to read life accurately?
Yes, we can, and that's a very good question. There are certain elements that are necessary. The first is you have to be willing to honestly acknowledge what is happening, even if it may not be what you want to perceive. We have to be willing, for example, if you want to read a relationship accurately, your emotional or ego nature may want to believe this is the best thing, even though your energy is saying, this isn't aligned with me, whether it's in a job or whether it's in a one-on-one relationship, or maybe you want to take a vacation and you're trying to read the energy and you want to go, but the plan you have may not align with what you're trying to create. So you have to be honest. You also have to be present, and you have to be in your body and quiet your mind, which I put plenty of tools in the book on how to do that easily. This is not some time consuming effort. It's a matter of a couple of breaths and a couple of exhales and just a willingness to quiet the mind, get back to the body. It involves developing the skill of discernment. Energy, when you're reading it accurately, affects the body in a very distinct way. It leaves you feeling at ease. It leaves your mind quiet. It feels not right, it feels true. This is true. So you have to pay attention to your physical body. You have to stop overloading yourself with outside noise, news, people's opinions, persuasive agendas, people creating noise, social media, distractions. You have to create enough quiet to listen, because your intuitive faculties are subtle and you have to sharpen your attention a little bit. And the other quality is you have to take responsibility and say, this is what I'm feeling, even though you world around me may not agree, I'm still going with it.
Yeah.
That's the game changer that gives you power.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good list, and it sounds like we have them all accessible,
Right.
but perhaps we don't practice them.
Right. And what we need to really get clear about is, what are my own intentions? I say start by reading yourself accurately. If your own intentions are to be clearly well informed, responsible for your choices, grounded in the moment, and willing to live an aligned life with your spirit, then this book is for you.
Mm.
If your intentions are to be unconscious, irresponsible, make others responsible for your life, then you won't relate to this book at all.
Yeah.
However, we're speaking to an audience that's already committed to that. So I think the Spiritual Book Club is going to love this book, because it's just going to be speaking to the values that you've already committed to.
Mm. Yeah, it's true. It's just helping out a little bit more. Yeah. So a little bit about you, Sonia. So you have been in this field as long as I've been alive.
Maybe more. Yes. And I came into this life born into a family where listening to your spirit was the most valuable skill that we were encouraged to develop. My mother was extremely intuitive. She had a very traumatic childhood and suffered. It was World War II. She lost her family. She lost her hearing. She didn't finish school. Her only reason for surviving was listening to her spirit, because the people around her were just telling her we're doomed, and she couldn't accept that.
No.
Listening to her spirit actually worked out pretty well for her. She found the love of her life. She married at 15. She married to my father for her whole life. She had a family of 7 children, beautiful life in America. So her example was more than a philosophy. It was an example. She had created miracle after what would be perceived from the outside as miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. One thing after another always worked out. And I was impressed that the reason for this is to listen to your inner guidance, to listen to your inner tuition. And she called it quite accurately, this is your spirit. This is your God force. This is your direct, authentic, empowering self trying to navigate you instead of the world pulling on you.
Mm.
So I don't have another experience of life. To
You had it
me,
with the birth milk.
yeah, I did. And frankly, I learned very young,
Yeah.
because I would work with other people, and I went to school, and I was confused when I started when I started going to school, that the people around me were not doing this.
Mm.
I thought, what, how can you function?
Mm.
How can you get up and move through a day with any sense of confidence and certainty and security when you've unplugged your core compass, your core guiding force? So I initially started out doing intuitive readings for people to help them get back on track. But even as early as 12 years old, I knew I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the compass for others exclusively. I want to reconnect them.
Yeah.
This is a natural force in us, and I wanted people to reclaim it. So I started teaching, and I am an excellent guide. I can work with people, and I don't just give them information. I give them the transmission that brings you back into alignment, that clicks this inner guidance system and turns it back on.
Mm.
And to me, every person connected to their guidance system not only will have a personal better life, but you'll be a better citizen in the world. You will be a force of good, of peace, of harmony, of beauty. So it's not just good for you, but it's good for all of us.
Mm.
So that has just, it's just was clear. I came in with this intention and I have not really had another experience.
You are so important, Sonia.
Well, I appreciate that. The message I bring and the transmission. I feel like when a car has a dead battery and you go get the jumper cable to get the battery going, I feel like the battery of your inner guidance is what I jumpstart back into functioning. And once it's going, it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So do you succeed every time? Does all your students find it?
Yes.
Mm.
However, I need to say that I discern. I don't try to convince someone.
What does discern mean?
Discern means use my attention and consciousness to assess who I'm working with and where their intentions are.
Yeah, of
If
course.
someone comes to me and says, just tell me what to do,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be responsible, I just want you to take responsibility, I will not work with them.
Mm.
Because that, first of all, further disempowers them, and it's a drag for me.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want that. That's no fun for me. But any student who comes to me at any level that says, I want this to work, I will get it working. I am a master jump starter and will get your inner guidance working. But I also know what the resistance is. I know you think, why would I not want this? But there are reasons. The number one reason people would not want to have their inner guidance working is that they don't want responsibility for themselves.
Mm.
They don't want it. They want others to take care of them.
Mm.
And until we get to the realization that even if others are willing to take care of you, they don't do the best job.
Mm.
We came here to be empowered and to be creators and to manifest. That's the purpose of life. So if we give that away to others for whatever reasons, fear and laziness, I find I encounter a lot of laziness and addiction and depression, although those things I can correct. What I can't correct is if your willpower is not intentional to be an empowered person. I can't change your will. So I won't even try. I just say, you know what? I'm not for you. But if someone is interested, even at the minimum level, you're hardwired. You have this innate inner life force frequency that guides you. And once I introduce you to it, it's like the missing piece. It's like, oh my God, this is what I was looking for. And it feels so good that you stay with it. So that's the result. It's like giving people a heart transplant. It's like, thank God. I don't have to be on life support to someone else anymore, to the world or opinions or approval. I have my own connection, direct connection, and it is transformational.
Mm.
It's wonderful.
It sounds wonderful.
Well, you've experienced it. We experience it in increments. And the more we experience it, the more we know this is the way it should be. This is what feels like I'm being my true self. This is what feels exciting and joyful and reassuring and gives me certainty. So I tell people, you don't have to trust me. Trust your own experience, but let me help you have the experience. Let me get you out of your head. Let me get you out of your fears. Have the experience, and then you decide if you want to continue.
Yeah. So we know a little bit from what you're saying, we can read between the lines a little bit of how you are as a person. But what would you say, beside being this guide for people and this tool to find your inner self, and besides being an author and a podcaster and whatever, who are you?
Well,
How?
those are, that's a good question. I don't see myself as those things.
No?
Those are things I do, but I am a very light-hearted, quite fearless, joyful, curious adventurer who loves life and who loves people and who loves bringing color back to very dull lives. I am a magic maker, and it's my sport. It is my fun. And I do it this way, this way, this way. But who I am is just a real good fairy on the planet. I am a really uplifting, joyful, positive force. And I am a person in love, in the frequency of love. I drift. I have my bad days. I have but they're moments. They're not episodes.
That sounds fantastic. I love the title you gave yourself, the Magic Maker. That's who doesn't want to be a magic maker?
I think we're all born to be magic makers. I think we all come here to learn to be magic makers. I actually think it's the purpose of our lives is to make the magic that we love, whether that's magic in a garden or a kitchen or in a relationship or in a corporation or make clothes or make furniture or teach or whatever we do with love creates magic.
I agree. Can you tell us about the earliest memory when you realized that not everyone reads life like you do? I know that you are touching on this on the book, but I think it's, that moment and what you saw there.
Yes, I had a very defining moment.
Yeah.
I, as a child, went to a very small Catholic school, 8 grades in one little red brick building. And it was run by nuns. And I went to school and I was introduced to the idea that we learn and then we have tests to see what we learned. And we were judged by those tests. Okay. But I could feel when the tests were coming. I could tune in to the nun and say, "Oh, we're gonna have a test tomorrow," because she's so focused on it. I could pick it up clear as I could speak to you. So I remember telling the kids, "You know what? We're gonna have a test tomorrow," and giving everybody the intel on what was being planned. And the teacher found out and was angry and, "How do you know? And were you in my books?" And it's like, of course not. I'm 7. Of course not. And besides, where is it written down? You're broadcasting this. Plus, the tests were not really set up for us to learn to uncover whether we learned something. It was more to catch us if we were not prepared and make us feel bad. I could tell that as well, which I thought was also peculiar. And why would anyone do that?
Especially from a nun?
Especially from a nun, although that was definitely, in my experience, the regular way that they love doing things. So I felt it was only fair to my friends to let them know there's a trap. There's a trap coming, I got to tell you. So I got a lot of intense negative punishment or attempt to. They called my mom. She's I don't know what she's doing, but she's sneaking around, and my mom stood up for me.
Thank God.
Thank God. And that was another gift. She said, what are you talking about? She picks up what you're thinking. This is normal. And so the nuns couldn't really punish me.
No.
So they just avoided me. Now, here's the irony.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go through school, through all 12 grades. It was just the neighborhood school. Some of those nuns, when I was into my 20s and 30s, teaching and becoming more well-known, left the nunnery, became layperson, and came back around to become my clients.
Oh, and they must have, if they found their inner guidance, they must have kind of
They
changed.
said, "You scared me, but I also wanted what you had." So I've lived long enough to have that full circle. And what it did for me was realize, don't give your power away to authorities just to be safe.
No.
I was forged in fire that way. So I do remember. And I remember asking the teacher, why on earth would you want to trap us?
Mhm.
Why can't we know we're supposed to be prepared for what you've taught? I don't understand. I don't understand why you're upset. If I'm telling everybody to get ready for what you're going to ask us, what's the problem? And so I was that student. I was that problem student my whole life.
Yeah, but for them, you were a challenge, and perhaps you made them better.
I think I made them whatever, but some of them came around some of them came around, and there's two in particular that are still in contact with me from when I was 7 years old, who are now in their 90s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, so I also believe that life has an amazing, elegant tapestry, and people in our lives who come and go, we influence as much as they influence us.
Mhm.
And I think that's also something that isn't taught
Mhm.
and is important to know.
Yeah.
As part of my life having meaning, everybody needs to know your influence may not be acknowledged, but it is felt. And it could change other people's lives. And this is very important for the spiritual club to know, because you are influencing people, even if they never tell you, just by being who you are as lights in the world.
That's very true. So back to the book.
Mhm.
What made you write this book? From all your books, I mean, you have two of your most known books are Trust Your Vibes and Ask Your Guides.
Right.
So why this book?
Trust Your Vibes tells you have the power. Ask Your Guides tells you have support. Read Life Accurately says, let's put it to use in your daily life in a way that will work for you.
Good and concise. Perfect. So is there, if you were to choose one thing that your readers and students will take away from this book, what would that be?
That what it will do will help you move through life with confidence, security, and fun. Life will be less intimidating and more empowering, so you can actually begin to take joy in your life, knowing that I'm getting what's really going on, and that allows me to create in an even better way.
We are talking about the ego and the soul.
Yeah.
Because following your true self is following your soul.
Actually, let me correct you.
Yeah.
Following your true self is following your spirit,
So what's
your
it?
life force, because we can have a dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
But we don't have a dark night of the spirit. The soul is the part of us that's learning. The spirit is the part of us that knows.
Mhm. Oh, that's a beautiful distinguish.
Mm-hmm.
So we are trying to follow our spirit. So I think that's a bit mind-boggling, because we're always talking about the soul and the soul purpose, and we should.
Right. That's the student in you who's come here to learn all these things.
Mhm.
But the soul is the part of you that's never disconnected from source.
Yeah.
No. So I like to say the soul is like the sun. The clouds come and go. We're always trying to get back to the sun, which is our life force. And so that's why we go through dark night of the soul. There's parts of us where we're really challenged, because we come here to learn, to grow, to be empowered. So the soul is the force in you that says, I want to join that book club, and I want to read these books, and I want to learn. That's your soul. The spirit is the part of you that says, this works for you, listen, or this does not work for you, leave. The spirit in you says, this is your path, or this is the choice that will take care of you. That is the choice that won't work. Don't do it. And the spirit is very clear and not a lot of words. The soul has a lot of words. It has a lot of conversation. So that's how you tell the difference.
It's really good. Yeah, thank you. I will think differently about it.
I try to make it easy.
Yeah.
I don't want people to get up in their head trying to figure this out. I want them to get on with it. You are divine spirit embodied creation. And your soul is here to learn that. And your ego is here to learn, I'm not the boss, I'm the helper.
Yeah. Because how do you perceive who's in the driving seat, the ego or the soul?
If it's the ego, there's a lot of noise, a lot of defense, a lot of polarization, me against you, and you're right and I'm wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. And it's very much a struggle.
Yeah.
If it's the soul, you're questioning, what am I to learn? Where can I grow? Why is this happening? And if you're in the spirit, it's like, just do this and stay in your lane and be your authentic self. And so all this mental noise stops.
Oof, it sounds like a very nice life.
It's our design.
Yes. Right now I am full of work and, overloaded. So for me, it sounds like heaven, and I need to take a mentorship course by you, I think.
I think because of my experience, because of the resistance, the pushback that I have faced every single possible opposition. I think because of all of that and because of my longevity in this, I really am the best teacher.
Oh, that's fantastic.
In a practical way. I am not teaching philosophy. I am teaching you to be empowered in your life, in the trenches, in the real experiences of your life, and to be empowered quickly.
Sounds like a
It's
good.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what my reward is. It's fun.
yeah. Then you want to do it, right? Everything
Right.
that's fun, we want to have in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah. So senses. Let's talk about senses for a while.
Yes.
Senses are very central in the book.
Yes.
You talk about us having more than our five senses, and of course, we in this audience looking at this video know that we have more than our five senses. So what can you tell us about your view of our
There's
senses?
two things I need to say. One, your outer senses need to work better.
Yeah.
They've gotten lazy.
Mhm.
Look instead of be in your head. Listen instead of be talking. Smell. Pay attention. The senses inform you. When you shake someone's hand, feel their life force in your hand. When you eat food, slow down. Taste it. It's all informing you.
Mhm.
So the inner senses and the outer senses are partners. They're not enemies. And then your inner senses. We're talking about, and we have to watch the language because I say, trust what you feel, but I'm not talking about emotions. I'm talking about sensation, energetic impression. Our guts feel energy. Our hearts receive energy and broadcast it. Our our throat has an inner voice. It can hear the unspoken and it broadcasts transmission. And so our eyes see, but our inner eye sees even the subtle realms. So if you're here, like my mom was deaf, but she could hear. She would say, I might be physically deaf, but I hear you. And she did. So we need to know that our inner senses complement our outer senses, but at a higher octave and in a more intense, subtle way. So most people are so numbed out. For example, have you ever had someone ask you a question a foot away and you didn't hear a word they said? Or said, where are my keys? Where are my keys? And they're in your hand.
Yeah.
Where are my glasses? They're right here on your head. Because we become numbed out. So I talk about getting back into your body and start using your senses more.
I hear you. And what I hear is that you have to concentrate to find this, because I can feel exactly, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can relate to it, but I have to be concentrated to feel it.
You have to be present.
Yeah.
You have to be present. And the way to be present is real easy. I have a 3 breath practice. Breathe in through the nose, pause, belly to spine, exhale, empty. Do that 2 times, breathing in to the belly, eyes open, pause, empty. The 3rd breath, imagine breathing from the feet into the heart and pause. Breathing from the heart then to the crown. Pause and then open your jaw and you'll feel everything open up and sigh. Ah, and just slide into the heart and smile. You're present.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that brings you back. And then you start paying attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what you feel. Pay attention to the energy. Another tool I emphasize in the book is verbalize what you feel energetically. Don't just let it roll around inside. If you name it, you claim it.
Yeah.
Verbalize it. And it anchors it in your life as it's real.
Yeah.
It's important. It's valuable.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
I think though that, so since I can relate to what you're saying, I can also see that when I'm present, when I pick up on these things and talk to others about it, or perhaps even my husband, who is not 100% numbed out, but he is not as intuitive as I am, perhaps.
It's left brain.
Yeah.
The left brain, your logic, immediate left brain, is not intuitive.
So
It's
I can,
biologically not intuitive. It's exclusive. It pushes and separates. Your right brain and your heart brain are connectors. So he's just in his left brain. But you can get him to his right brain really quickly by asking him, I wonder what your intuition says about that. And
yeah,
immediately the word wonder swings you into your right brain. And you'll say, what are you talking about? And say, I don't know, but I just wonder. If you were intuitive, I wonder what your intuition would say. It turns the light on.
yeah, yes.
It's that fast.
It's a good thing. I will take that.
Try it and see if it works. The key word is wonder.
Yeah, I wonder.
That immediately your eyes immediately go to your right brain.
So what I was going to say was that I think that sometimes when picking up on those subtle feelings and what you see and hear creates a conflict with the person that you're talking about because they don't understand. So when I say that out loud, I hear what you were experiencing when you were young.
My father was a big disbeliever of my mom for many years.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. He was from a country farm, very simple, not unintelligent, but just everything was very literal. And she would smile at him and say, 2 things. don't assume that what you know is all there is to know. And 2, humor me, because I'm experiencing something very different from you, and it's important to me.
Yeah.
And he would just say, okay, because it wasn't a confrontation. She would take it out of confrontation. She would put
she
it into
sounds like a
invitation.
beautiful person.
She was incredible. She would make it an invitation, not a confrontation.
So is she still around?
No, she lived, though, to be 90. And she was the most magical person. She had the best sense of humor, and she would say, humor me, humor me. And
So she could speak.
so I remember, I want to share a story that was very poignant. I come from a family of 7 children. I lived in Colorado, and every weekend we'd go from Denver, which was the capital, to up to the mountains, a 2-hour drive, for playing. That was our childhood. And it was in days, this is how old I am, days before seatbelts were mandatory in cars. You just all piled in. So not only did we pile in, we'd bring friends. So there'd be like 12 people in a car and piled on each other. We went up to the mountains to play, and we're coming back down, fighting and screaming and yelling. And my dad's just trying to focus on the road. And right as we're driving down, my mom turns to my dad and says, Paul, that was his name, let's take the long way home. Get off the next route of the highway and let's take the back roads. And I was in the front seat. It was my dad, my 2 sisters, and my mom in the front seat. And he looked at her, which is right in front of my eyes, and he said, are you crazy? It's chaos in this car. Why would I take longer? And she said, oh, Paul, just humor me, please, which meant do what I say. So he was annoyed. He was mad, but he did. So our trip was so long. It was 3 hours long. It was screaming and carrying on and crying and fussing and drama. But we finally got home. When we got home, my father went in to be alone. He liked to go sit and turn on the TV and watch the news. And I liked to go sit with him if I didn't speak, I was allowed. So he turns on the 5 o'clock news, and the first thing on the news is a major accident on the highway. A semi-truck lost their brakes and went out of control, and the highway is completely shut down. The one we got off before that accident.
Mm.
So after that, my dad, I remember him going, something in him realized that though it extended an hour, had we not gotten off, we would still be there.
Yeah. Or perhaps in the accident.
Yeah, it just blocked the highway. It was a disaster, but we went around it just before it happened. And my mom did not know anything other than don't go. So that's an important piece about your guidance. It's not going to give you the whole story. It's going to give you the information to keep you in the flow.
But we have to believe it when
Well, I feel like you have to trust what you feel, because it's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of acknowledging that I am experiencing something real, but not physical. And I have to give it importance. So we're not believing in some non-real thing. It's just not physical. And I think we have to correct that, believe it, because you've been given many, many years of indoctrination that says, don't believe it. So I don't want to overcome that mountain. I just want to say, get around that mountain by saying, well, look, if I have a feeling, it's real. It's something. And I'm going to accept this and put it to use for me instead of argue to someone else whether it's real or not.
I mean, looking at it as information, important information.
Yes.
Period.
Period.
I think that's, yeah. Mm.
Every single master in any field will acknowledge that part of what got them there was listening to this inner guidance and not the world around them. Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Einstein, Carl Jung, anybody, I could go on, but anybody, any artist, any musician, Bill Gates, people that run the world will say, Warren Buffett, and I'm acknowledging more Americans, but these are global names, will say, my inner guidance was a key factor in my success.
Mm. Yeah.
It's that powerful.
Yeah, it's that powerful. So I know that we are closing up on the hour. Is it sharp for you, or can we?
I got to go to another appointment. I wish I could talk about this all day, to tell you the truth.
I know. And so can I. So there are a few short, a bit playful and useful questions that I'd like to ask you. And
Of course.
so since you are very intuitive, if life had a voice, what would it be whispering to most of us right now? What do you say?
I think it would be whispering, get out of your distractions, get back to your heart, address your wounds so that you can live in present time as a beautiful creator instead of avoiding it.
Mm.
That's what life would say. Now is the time to heal, become whole, and reclaim your divine power so that you can create a life you love. But it involves getting out of your distractions and avoidances.
God, I need a miracle for that. So, thank you. Could you reveal 3 small daily habits anyone can use to start reading their life more accurately today?
Yes, the first is the breath I shared, 2 exhales to empty, and 1 sigh to get into your heart with a smile. That's a habit that will always take you back to the moment. Slow down. If you can't slow down your life, because I do know that it's really accelerated, put a little reminder on your smartphone or something you always have with you every hour. And when that phone buzzes, look up, look out, and notice something beautiful right in front of you.
Yeah.
Right now, right here, this is my life. There's that beautiful flower. There's that beautiful sunshine. There's that beautiful cup of coffee. But one thing, and do that for 1 hour, every hour for 40 days. And it'll change you to be whole brained. It'll bring your right brain online and it'll wake up your heart brain. And when you get an intuitive feeling, say it out loud.
Mhm.
You don't have to be right. You don't have to be wrong. And you don't have to even listen to it. Just acknowledge it. So you put your hand on your heart. This is what I do. And I check with my heart. My heart says, and I fill in the blank. My brain's saying this, noisy fight. Ah, my heart says, and let it speak. They're very simple tools, and it's enough.
Yeah. Thank you. God, this was a fantastic interview. It was filled with so much spirit, filled with spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
was my pleasure. If it empowers anybody, even the littlest bit, it helps us all because we're all connected.
the more people who start reading their life accurately, the better the world will be.
More peaceful. That will be the first benefit.
Thank you so much, Sonia.
My pleasure. I'm so honored to be here. I send love to every one of those who are in your club, and I'm honored and I'm grateful that you would give me the time and consider what I'm sharing as valuable. So I appreciate you with all my heart.
Thank you so much. Now I wish you a wonderful day in Paris.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm about to go have it. Okay. All my love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.